Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs, and the room is stutters. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape. Every one of us, I was kinda late, cause I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the fate, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a new episode of HWP Extra, brought to you by your girl Stephanie Hardy, host and creator of HWP Extra, as well as Steph and Cat Talk Wow. And of course, you're probably used to seeing this show giving you all the news and gossip and all of the greatness of professional wrestling, but today we're not doing that. We're not doing that today because today is a special day where we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart and my inner child. And that is, of course, celebrating the 20th anniversary of High School Musical, the Disney phenomenon that came into our lives, smacked us across the head with amazing music, great stars of the future, and all of the craziness. But I'm not alone. I am here with It's Nessa. We've got something to confess. I am so happy you are on my show of the Humble Roses podcast. And I'm also here with Krista B, one half of those wrestling girls and creator of Unapologetically Eclectic, loving everything that's going on with that site, and Jose Gonzalez. And oh my gosh, I'm just so happy to be here with all of you guys to talk about this amazing spectacle of, oh my gosh, everything, the movie, the phenomenon, all of the things. So how are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good. Excited.
Yeah, excited for real. It just hit me that I was like 16, 20 years ago, but whatever. Neither here or there.
Yeah, it was hitting all of us offline too that this is because we were talking about all of the anniversaries that Disney just so happened to drop and talk about over the weekend, where they were talking about how the Proud family is coming up on its 25th anniversary, how Hannah Montana is coming up on its 20th anniversary, and just so many anniversaries that are popping up that are reminding us that our childhood is sort of further away, getting just an inch by inch a little further away, and it's scary, but at the same time we still hang on close to it. It's nuts. But I just had to celebrate just the beauty of this amazing show because it opened up so many doors for so many stars that are familiar to us, and just opening up like a whole phenomenon of kids be feeling seen, loving music, loving the arts and all the things. And I just really wanted to discuss it. So thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough for being on this show. This is only the second time I've talked about something outside of wrestling on here. Krista was here for the first time. Yeah, when we hosted and talked about the Luther Vandross documentary last year around the same time. So yeah, so it's just funny how things just come back around. But yeah, oh my gosh, High School Musical. This movie, we're going to get into the history and fun facts. Of course, since this is the 20th anniversary, it came out on a Friday, which was very familiar for us Disney Channel kids. This is when new Disney Channel original movies, aka DCOMs, would come out at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, if you're like me, living on the central part of the atmosphere of the United States. And you were sitting in front of the television wherever you were, getting ready to watch this new new movie, not sure what you're gonna see, but then you turn it on and then all of a sudden you see all the snow and all the greatness, and then you see all the awesomeness that this show and this movie represents. So, starting with Nessa, I want to ask you, where were you when you saw High School Musical premiere for the first time?
I definitely was home, and we were super excited. Like, again, I was in the 6th grade when this came out, and everyone was just talking about it. We're gonna watch High School Musical. Can't wait to see you on Monday. Like, and I got home, and I was actually on Pacific time, so I was watching it at that time. And when it came out, I was just super excited. I was ready for it. Of course, I had a crush on Troy Bolton, so it was automatic. And then come Monday, we were trying to learn the dance moves and try to do all those moves. So.
And what about you, Krista?
Well, of course, I was at home too. It was wintertime. It was just like, who's going to be outside in wintertime? But I was very in tune with Disney Channel, although I was in high school when it came out. And so probably at that time, I probably had no business watching Disney Channel still, but I was in high school. And yeah, it was just like, all right, cool. I'm going to go home. I'm going to watch High School Musical. And it just became this big thing, like the songs, the dances, the characters, and then learning about, all right, well, I have no shame about watching High School Musical because the actors who are playing these characters are close to my age, if not my age, or a little bit older. So I'm like, all right, cool. There's a little reprieve in me being a 16-year-old watching High School Musical. But I definitely was home. I think I was watching with my little cousin. If I was 16, she was 6. So that was also an excuse. But yeah, it was fun. It's a good time.
Wow, that's amazing how you were in high school when that came out, because I remember watching this, sort of fantasizing about what high school could be like and looking at it like, bruh, is high school this fun? Like, what's going on? Like, am I gonna have the time of my life? Because they're making this look like super fun. I can't believe it.
Newsflash, high school I went to was not that fun. I mean, we had fun. Don't get me wrong, we had fun. Fun is what you make of it with the people that you make it with. But it wasn't that type of fun.
Yeah. I wish we got into musicals.
Oh, absolutely. And what about you, Jose?
Yeah, so I was in the 5th grade when it came out. So I remember like going home. I was watching it in my sister's room on our like tiny little Zenith TV that we had in there. We watched that, and then the Hannah Montana premiere that came like right on after. And then I remember like asking my dad like, "Hey, can you put this on the iPod I got for Christmas?" Like, just because the music was very catchy at the time. Like the choreography was really cool. Shout out to Kenny Ortega. And just like I remember it being like, oh, you know what? Maybe that'll be like kind of a gateway into like, maybe if the school does musicals, I can try to do some of the musicals. Because where I went to school, the middle school and the high school were combined in one building. So sometimes the High School Musical would allow for like middle schoolers to be cast. I wouldn't end up doing anything till like 9th grade anyways. But like it definitely put it on my radar. I'm like, oh, this is something I could do.
Yeah, I love that, because something that I did love looking at, of course, when people do throwback pictures of how websites and stuff looked, there was literally a section that gave off the impression, well, not the impression, but a section that said, if you want to do High School Musical at your school, here's how you can do it, within the ramifications of copyright and all the things. And I just remember wanting to get involved in drama and also in choir anyway, because I was in choir in church anyway. But I was just like, bro, like, can you imagine how much fun it would be in school, or in high school? So I definitely love that it opened up a lot of doors for people. And of course, when you think about the throwback of it all, you have your CDs and you have your iPods. I still have my High School Musical CD. Like, I don't have the paper, don't know where the paper went, but everything else is still intact. The CD is too. It was just a time to be alive, and I am just so excited to celebrate this with everyone watching. Thank you guys so much. And of course, if something resonates with you, fire off in the chat and in the comments, and it wind up on the screen. So, of course, it premiered on the Disney Channel, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a throwback as to how the logo looked back in the day because you had all the kids jumping in and out of the Disney Mickey Mouse head, and it was the original movie with the film reel flowing in and out. And of course, you have the logo now, which is relatively chill. Just
Plain.
says Disney
So
Channel.
Go
plain.
on, give us nothing.
But
Plain.
you knew the movie was gonna be fire when that kid hit the splits.
Exactly.
Yep.
One in the
And
air,
then
right?
you
When
get
he
the
jumped.
cast
Yes,
intros
when
and
he
then
hit
on the
the splits, we knew it was gonna be
Oh.
fire.
Oh my God, yes. Like even watching this and hearing clips of it now on TikTok where it's just like, hey, remember this? And you're just like, oh my God, I remember this sound. Like that's really what it feels like now. But then you
Yeah.
watch it now and you look at the channel logo. It's not the same thing, but it's for a completely different audience because we have, of course, grown up, but we'll always have that little Disney Mickey Mouse head in the corner in our brains. So of course, this movie was written by Peter Barsaccini, and he wrote it for his then teen daughter, Gabriella, and many of her friends who were named after some characters in the film. So I thought that was a very interesting little tidbit because a lot of people thought, well, might have thought, well, Gabriella was just like a really cool name they just thought of for the character. No, this story was fully inspired by his daughter and friends that she had, and also just piecing together parts of this story that talked about, of course, different teens, going through different scenarios and finding themselves. And it was, of course, directed by the legendary filmmaker, choreographer, and director Kenny Ortega, who is just an icon, a legend out here in the Hollywood streets. His resume is just a mile long, if you can even say that, probably a country mile long. Um, he directed all three High School Musicals and choreographed all three High School Musicals, directed Newsies, which is an older film, but either way, that also has Broadway ties to it as well. And he also directed Hocus Pocus, which is something I didn't know. Confession, I've actually never seen Hocus Pocus.
Wait, come on.
Wait, what?
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Yes, I know.
Stephanie, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
The 1993 Hocus Pocus, like the original.
Yes, I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
But why?
Never seen it. Okay,
Why?
because if I can give a 1993 excuse, I wasn't born until September of that year. So I mean, if I could give that excuse,
not valid. Not valid.
Yeah.
I know it's not. I'm sorry.
I agree with Jessica. You're gonna have to watch it. Go to Disney Plus and watch it.
I'm so confused. Like they even got a second one out.
I know. Mm-hmm. 1 and 2
the third one.
I know. I gotta see it. But I just wanted to be honest with y'all. With all of my Disney, yes, with all of my Disney love, I've never seen those two movies, but I know I've got to because the three actresses I love to death. So I mean, okay, that's a good gateway. But yeah, Kenny Ortega also directed that and the Cheetah Girls too, which everyone just loves to death. And that opened up my love for Barcelona, Spain, which led to me going to Spain a little bit later in life. So I am happy about that.
For you.
Which also is 20 years old in August this year.
Yeah, turned 20 in August. The first one, right?
No, the
second
one.
The second one.
2004, right?
And
yeah, the first. He didn't direct the first one.
Oh yeah, no,
we can tell.
Oh yeah, no shade.
No shade. You can definitely tell.
No, that. Bless them.
No shade, but you can tell.
Oh yes, the second one. He directed and choreographed the second one, and he also directed the first three Descendants films, which of course would count as after our era of Disney Channel, but it definitely counts for, say, my sister and also my roommate in college, my best friend. She loved the Descendants films. Rest in peace to Cameron Boyce. Yeah. But yeah, he directed all of those and choreographed movies like Dirty Dancing, Pretty in Pink, St. Elmo's Fire, and he produced numerous concert tours, most famously Michael Jackson's This Is It tour, which did not happen, sadly. And he directed that film and that documentary film as well. So Kenny Ortega is the guy you want to bring on when you really want to get some stuff done in the arts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's that
Kenny's been
guy.
outside.
And there's nothing but raves about him. He connects with everybody, is what they're saying, and he gets to know everyone, and it's really just one of those things where he makes everyone feel like a family.
Yeah.
And I love that because you don't really hear sometimes about directors or choreographers like that. They just come in, get the job done, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he connects everyone, and he definitely is a good representative of that. And just you can just tell that the arts just oozes from him. Because I remember watching those behind the scenes clips that they would show on Disney Channel of him directing High School Musical, and just the way that he would move around and just describe, what the move is supposed to convey and everything else. You could just tell he just loved what he was doing, and I've been fascinated with him and have followed him since then, and I've never been disappointed with his vision of things. Never, never, ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's just incredible, and I'm so happy that I discovered him through this because he's just given us so much, and I'm so happy. He also has a star on the Walk of Fame, and he's a part of the Disney Legends Hall of Fame, and he got inducted into both of those in 2019. So big ups to him for that and being the visionary behind all of this amazing stuff that we're about to get into. So, as we get into all of the creativity of it all, we've got to talk about the star-studded cast of this amazing franchise. Of course, I had to pull up, if it will come up. I had it and then I lost it. This picture, bro. I don't know what happened. Come on. Either way, we're gonna try again. Let's see. I hate tech. Anyway.
Oh, it came up.
I'd love to
It
see
came
that.
up.
Count
It
your
didn't,
days.
Come on.
It didn't come up on my end. I'm
it
losing
came up over here, and then as soon as you came out of it,
So you know what?
It's
I don't
given
know
circles.
why.
Oh,
damn.
Oh God. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. They said podcasts are meant to be audio first. We'll just go with that.
Exactly. That part. So either way, the cast includes Zac Efron, Vanessa Ann Hudgens, because that's what she was known as back then. Corbin Blue, Monique Coleman, Ashley
There we
Tisdale
go.
French. There we go. Ashley Tisdale French, Lucas Grabeel, Elisa Rulin, Casey Stroh, Chris Warren, Bart Johnson, and Allison Reed. And of course, this is the main cast here in the front with one of their amazing pictures. Because, of course, we all know the jumping picture. We all love that. And we've all probably recreated that multiple times in our lives.
Yep.
Jumping off the steps or whatever. And then something that I have loved today is that you had a bunch of people like Lucas Graybill and Ashley Tisdale making posts talking about how they still have hats and dresses, and even Sharpay's sidekick phone that she had back then that was bedazzled. She had that. So oh my God. So it's just been really cool to see the cast getting into all of the lore and thanking all the fans for their support for this film over the years.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful as we move forward into just looking at all of the cast members and just all the things that we've even seen them in, because I feel like this movie had what kind of like, if you were to compare it to like a phenomenon hitting the scene really hard, it's kind of like the phenomenon of Hamilton, where after you saw the original cast of Hamilton, you saw them everywhere. That's kind of the effect that I feel like High School Musical kind of had. You couldn't miss any of the cast members, no matter where you put them or no matter where you saw them, whether it was Disney Channel or anywhere else. And it was just really important to see that. And it was just really cool to see them grow from that. Of course, Kelsey was sort of like not a part of the main cast as you saw featured, but she was still an important role as Kelsey, the accompanist, who found her voice towards the end of the film. And then, of course, you have Casey Stroh, who mentioned, who mentioned a lot of her representation as a plus size woman in this film, which I definitely appreciated, because at the time, casting wasn't as friendly to women who looked like her. And they were casting in other places like LA and in different other cities. But as it turns out, Kenny found her with the casting call in Utah, and she wound up being the greatest treasure of all with her dance moves. And that really did bless me to hear that story. And then, of course, you have Zeke, who I really loved, who knew how to bake and all of the things. And I actually freaked out because I saw him in a commercial once. I was like, oh my God, that's Zeke. And I think it was an insurance commercial, I believe. And he was a soldier, or maybe it was a Navy Federal Credit Union commercial. But either way, I was just like, oh my God, it's Zeke. Are you serious? So all of these people have gone on to do great things. And then you have Bart Johnson, who played Zac Efron's dad, aka Coach Bolton, who hosts a podcast himself where he brought on a lot of the different stars of High School Musical and interviewed them as close as it got to the anniversary, and how he still embraces the meme culture surrounding his character, because it never fails. You'll go on TikTok and you'll see a video of him. What the heck are those two boys doing in a tree or something like that?
I love that he's so involved with it. I'm like, yes.
Oh my God. He's so involved with it. And a lot of people, you would think they would push that away, but he fully embraces the fact that people recognize him as Troy Bolton's father, / Coach Bolton. And it's just a very beautiful thing. And then of course you have Miss Darbus, Allison Reed, and just being the ultra dramatic drama teacher. And she was just really cool. So she's also embraced that part of herself as well. But I believe now it's about time we get into the story of everything. But before we even do that, of course, the success of this film was so huge. It generated 7.7 million viewers in its premiere broadcast, and critics praised the casting and the music, but then critiqued the sentimentality of it. But my thing is, Disney is Disney. They're going to sentimental you to death, and they shouldn't be critiqued for that. I think they should be celebrated for that more often. They're candy coated. It's sweet. It's a kids channel. What are you going to do? You can't have dangerous stuff going on in movies like this. You also had their soundtrack, which reached the Billboard 200 with Breaking Free, which ultimately reached to number 4. And of course, it spawned 2 sequels, as you can see, with High School Musical 2 and High School Musical 3 coming out 1 year after the other. I will say it bummed me out when High School Musical 3 came out in theaters, because I was used to the accessibility of watching it on TV and not having to ask mom and dad and be like, can we go to the movies? But because if they didn't want to see it, then you're just kind of out of it. You're just out of luck. Yeah. But I did finally see it on premium cable, so that was fine. But it didn't have the same feeling as watching it on Disney Channel. But either way, that came out. It also spawned another sequel in Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, which went straight to DVD, but at the same time, they showed it and had rotation on Disney Channel, as well as spawning another series on Disney Plus called High School Musical, the musical, the series, which launched the career of Olivia Rodrigo, who is a big pop star now. So yeah, it just gave us a lot of different things. It keeps feeding us years after the fact, and it just never ceases to give us more, even when we think it's finished.
Right.
Have you guys watched High School? Wait, I'm sorry. People were talking. Who was that?
Oh, the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have either of you seen Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure or High School Musical, the musical, the series?
No.
I
have not
I've
either.
seen Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure once. I couldn't tell you anything about it now because it was at least 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's just literally her trying to make it on Broadway after graduating.
Mm-hmm.
And having her big show-stopping number moment. That's really kind of it.
Yeah, and then Austin Butler was in that movie too.
I was about to say, he's the one I remember the most.
Yes, that blew my mind, because every time I think of Austin Butler, I just think of seeing him in all these artsy movies that are very serious, like Elvis, and he was also in Caught Stealing, I believe, with Zoe Kravitz. And so to imagine him in a movie like Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure is just like, holy cow. People, it's very surprising to see how people start and then where they end up after, working in Hollywood for such a long period of time. You go back in time and you're just like, oh, you were in that? What the heck? But,
Right.
I also have not seen the series myself, but the thing that turned me on to the series was Olivia Rodrigo and the whole Joshua Bassett situation, if you guys know in pop culture.
Oh, I know.
Jose, you want to feed into that a little bit?
So, what happened
Yeah.
is that when they were doing High School Musical, the series, Joshua Bassett and Olivia Rodrigo were romantically linked at some point towards the end of when Olivia was getting ready to leave the show and then start working on her own music. And there may have been an entanglement with one Miss Sabrina Carpenter, who was on Girl Meets World at the time, also recording artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that led to us getting Olivia Rodrigo's debut single, Driver's License, debuting at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and becoming a canonical pop song 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the tragedy that comes right before that song that makes it go to #1. Yep. Because if nothing tragic happened to these artists, and when I say tragic, I don't mean like death or whatever, but something, a sneaky link or a hookup or the
look at when the song came out and what was in the news. It was something was tragic at the time.
See, and I actually watched the first season of the series just because I was like, it's High School Musical based. Let's see what's it about. Yeah. And you can tell where the fallout started happening.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can definitely tell. I think that what made it even more, I guess, dramatic was the characters themselves were having a fallout while they were in real life having a fallout.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It was like art, imitation mimics art, or art mimics imitation.
Art imitates life.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, because I couldn't think about it.
Yeah, the second season though, I was like, I can't do this no more.
I just feel like I was aged out of it at that point. Like,
I
wasn't really going back to watching like those streamer shows anyways. So
I'm definitely aged out of it. I'm definitely aged out of that part of the High School Musical. But Stephanie, I want to go back real quick because you said that you had freaked out when you saw Zeke in a commercial. However, if you guys watch Sisters, Zeke actually is in Sisters. He plays this character named Hayden.
Yes,
his character is such a dirtbag. So serious. His character is such a dirtbag. He's so conniving. He's a pick-me. He wants everything to happen. He feels like he's like this big boss when he's not. And it's just so weird to like see him with this attitude. It's so weird to see him with like cursing and all other stuff. Like I know we're grown, so we evolve and things like that. But I'm like, boy, you just in the kitchen trying to get to Sharpay some cookies. Like, go back to me. Go back to Arizona, go find Sharpay, and But no, yeah, he's really taken off a lot. Like he's really taken off with his career, even with Zac Efron, Iron Claw, things of that nature. Corbin Blue was in certain shows. I think Grey's Anatomy or Chicago Med.
Yeah,
and he's big on Broadway. He's done a lot of musicals.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's in the
West End. He played Usnavi in The Heights.
Really? I did not know he played Usnavi. Wow.
He did.
He was also Seymour off Broadway for Little Shop of Horrors opposite Jinx Monsoon, who was playing Audrey at the time.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes, he was.
And then he also had his own Disney Channel movie, Jump In, which I believe premiered after, was it High School Musical 2? I want to say that, but at the same time, he kind of popped off on his own. And that was when I knew I wanted him to be one of my husbands so bad. I thought he was so cute. I wanted him, because he's just my type. Like, he was cute, he could dance, he could sing, he had hair. Push It to the Limit was my song. Yeah. And then Deal With It too. Deal With It was an underrated classic.
Yeah.
A little after that movie came out, I actually met him at Disneyland.
Oh, nice.
He's tall, skinny. I was like, I know him. Why do I know him? And then I was like, it's Corbin Blue. Me and my sister ran to him and we took a picture. It's somewhere in the closet, but yeah, it was exciting.
Oh my God, Nessa, you're so lucky. I haven't been to Disney World in years, but I could stand to go, but I'm also scared to go because if I do, I'll lose all of my money, bro.
We're actually at Disneyland, California. Yeah, Disneyland.
See, I've never been to Disneyland. See, I've been to Disney World multiple times, but I've never been to Disneyland. But what's so funny is I was telling a friend this, I've been to California multiple times, never been to Disneyland. It's nuts. It's nuts. It has to happen. But
Yeah.
oh my God. So you're so lucky. But yeah, even in the comments, they're telling you how lucky you are, Nessa.
I know. I was really happy.
Just Jessica,
I was like,
thank you for watching.
I was like, I was like, who else is here? Like, were anyone else here? Like, at that point, it was kind of like searching, and then I was like, oh, I saw Courtney.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it spawned like so many different adaptations. You had foreign adaptations of High School Musical as well in different South American countries. You had stage adaptations. They had a tour, like Jose mentioned off camera, when with Drew Seeley being on the tour, taking the place and playing the role of Troy because Troy, you know, wasn't the actual singer of the cast for real, for real. It was like a mixture of Drew's voice and Zach's voice. So he played Troy on the tour. And then there was also, of course, 6 video games, I realized in my research. 6 video games with High School Musical with dancing and so many different
By, like,
consoles.
Disney Sing It and stuff like that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
yes.
shocked to find out, like, you know, when after they played the movie for a while, then they'll play like the pop-up version where all the fun facts pop up on the TV. So I was shocked in the first one, especially the first scene with Gabriella and Troy are doing the karaoke at the ski cabin. And it was like, did you know that they had to use another actor's voice, Drew Seeley's voice, for Zac Efron because he wasn't comfortable enough to sing yet. And then I'm like, what? But then when you go back to, I believe it's Cheetah Girls 2, Drew Seeley's also singing in that. So I was like, oh yeah, it is the same voice. But I also think around that time as well, if I'm not mistaken, Drew Seeley was also filming. He was in a couple of episodes of the first season of One Tree Hill. So this man was busy,
and he did a Cinderella story with Selena Gomez.
Or it was another Cinderella story, I think, with Selena Gomez, right?
With the part 2. He pretty much started that one.
But I think I'm glad that, you know, Zac Efron was able to like train his voice and work on his voice more because we get his actual voice in 2 and in 3.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, you already had the pipes. You was just nervous to be singing on camera. Got it.
Well, it's also funny because I was saying this before we came online. I was listening back to the soundtrack earlier. For the start of something new and for Breaking Free, you can hear Zach singing a little bit at the beginning of the songs.
Yes,
and
you
then
can.
hear immediately when it switches over to Drew's voice.
Yeah.
Like it's not even close.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they're totally different. You could
Drew has more of like a soft type, not monotone, baritone type voice when he sings, and Zach's is like more high pitched, more in your face type of a voice. So when you do hear the difference, but for those who just like are so engulfed, they're not going to realize. Not going to realize.
Yeah,
something that as adults we figured out because again, like I was saying off camera, I didn't really pay attention to it until I was an adult. That I was like, oh, that is not Zac Efron's voice. It's Drew Seeley.
And then, like how the streaming credits are to the characters, not the actual actors or singers, which is
yes, that was so interesting. It's even like that, I think. Yeah, when I saw that on streaming, I was just like, I love how it says Troy, Gabriella, and but then they'll have their real names trickled in the titles as well. So it's just kind of interesting. And then of course they re-released the soundtrack with deluxe editions and so many different, you know, of course when Disney has a phenomenon on their hands, they're going to commercialize and capitalize on it super hard. You can't miss it anywhere. I had a pair of High School Musical socks. My sister had High School Musical things as well. Even now with the 20th anniversary, Disney World released like a set of different clothes. Box Lunch, the store, has 20th anniversary clothes and jerseys at Hot Topic and so many things. They even had an analog phone, and I was just like, you know what? I could have had a phone with all their faces on it, but it's okay. There's no need for me to have a landline now. So yes, High School Musical mania was everywhere. You couldn't turn away from it. It was a time to be alive for sure. Now, of course, we got to get into the story after we go through all of the phenomenon of everything and how we experienced it. So the movie starts on this ski lodge in Utah. Now, they start and it is New Year's Eve, and of course they're singing karaoke, or at least they get pushed into singing karaoke because Gabriella and Troy are both in their own little worlds. Gabriella's reading a book, Troy is practicing basketball, and their parents are like, why don't you go downstairs and enjoy the party, it's New Year's Eve, have fun, blah. And so they go downstairs still staying in their little bubbles, but then eventually they get called out and called on to do karaoke. And that's where we get the song Start of Something New. And it's just so cute because the chemistry isn't there at first, but then Troy stops everything when he hears Gabriella's voice. And that's really where the love starts to come into play. It's
Yeah.
so gorgeous. Like the song is amazing. Um and it opens up the world that you're about to be welcomed into, because you see these two characters who were in living in their own world, like the lyrics say. And then, you know, they take a chance and do something new, and here they are, and then they find each other in it, and they're like, oh, I'm Troy, oh, I'm Gabriella. And then they trade numbers with their little flip phones, because that was the thing. But you could take pictures on them, and then they trade numbers, and Gabriella disappears into the night, but Troy never forgets her. And how could you forget her though? Because Gabriella, Vanessa Ann Hudgens, to this day is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
She is
Very
a baddie to this
good.
day.
And
To
is.
this day. Lord Jesus. And so I completely get it. I get it. And so after all of that happens with them finding each other and singing, probably thinking they'll never see each other again, they run into each other like one more time at school. And here again, they're in their own different worlds, but they get caught in detention, get caught up in, you know, drama class and everything. But then Troy is in the midst of preparing for this big championship game with the Wildcats with Chad. You know, they're trying to big him up as the captain, as the head dude, um, on the team. And they're getting ready to go for their things, but Gabrielle is trying to keep a low profile because she doesn't want to be known as the geeky nerd, mad genius type of girl that she is. Which I loved seeing that representation, because being smart sometimes, depending on where you were from or depending on, you know, what group of kids you were around in school, it was like being smart could either be a really good thing or it could be something you were teased for. And seeing Gabriella represent that at that time was just really cool, and being the smart pretty girl. And then of course Troy being the jock, he's just like, oh well, you know, I'm conflicted because I have these feelings for this girl, I loved singing with her, but I'm the basketball dude. How am I supposed to find my way through that?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to ask you guys, has there ever been a point where you guys felt conflicted between two or three or four interests at a time? And how did you navigate that?
You talking about during high school or just in general?
In general.
Or middle school, high school, in general, all of it.
For me,
Yeah.
that's what I can think of, because growing up, I'm a '90s kid, so we already had activities and stuff to do, and if we liked it, we did it, like no questions asked. So in middle school, I was on a step team. High school was on a step team. I was able to, pursue other things outside of that. I ran track. Um, I, well, in middle school, elementary, middle school, of course, wrestling was a thing, clearly. Um, so I was able I was able to do all the things that I wanted to do without having any conflicts, because a lot of the things that I did, I was with a lot of my friends as well. Excuse me. So I was able to do so. So I didn't feel like that, but sometimes the conflict comes, I think, when you're more so an adult, because there's so many things that you want to do, and then you really have to find a way of balancing everything. And that's where the conflict really comes in at. Like there are days where I'm just like, yeah, I want to sit and edit something or sit and record something. This is what I have interest in, but I know that I actually have to do real work because that's what really pays me. But I know if I do this over here, this thing gonna pay me eventually. So it's I feel like the conflict comes when you're more so an adult than with a child than you being like an adolescent or a teen because you can it varies. Your parents are gonna support you regardless or whatever have you. And when it comes to your peers, I mean, if they're not for you, then F them. If they
Mm,
it's what you like. So,
I think that's what I liked about how they touched on that part where, they're talking about you can only be a jock or you can only be smart. And I think the conflict for me growing up, that part was, did I want to just play sports or did I want to do choir? Did I want to do, I was also getting straight A's. Like, did I want to be the smart person? So I like that they touched on all that. And um, showing, the different sizes of characters, showing that being the big girl, you could also be able to dance because I also love dancing. That's why I loved um, her character the most was because, she was like, I'm smart, but I also love hip hop. Like,
mm-hmm. She could
so
pop, lock, and jam.
yeah, she pop, lock, jam.
Pop
Like,
and lock and jam and break.
Great.
Yeah. What about you, Jose?
Yeah, I think for me, it was definitely like towards the end of middle school, beginning of high school. So, like, before eighth grade, I'd finished up doing like 5 or 6 years of Taekwondo. I ended up getting my black belt in it. So, I think from there, moving on to like, okay, I'm going to get back into like doing band and stuff. I started playing trumpet, but at the time, we didn't have like a choir program for the middle school or anything. But I was starting to like really get back into music, so I ended up doing like a summer like day camp thing that the school district ended up doing. I got to do choir there. When freshman year high school rolled around, for whatever reason, I still never put like chorus down as an elective because I still wanted to have like other stuff open, like in case I wanted to join a club or whatever. But what ended up happening was is they had auditions for the high school musical that year, which was 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to audition for this. The course teacher didn't know I could sing at all, but like she knew because I was still doing band and everything at the time too with different music teachers. So I go in, I do the audition, and she's like, Jose, I need you to immediately go to your guidance counselor and you're gonna put course on your schedule because I need you there. And then it kind of led me like, okay, so then I'll do the select course from there, and then I'll go on and do like county and all state, and then like try to audition to become a music education major in schools and like get into those programs and everything too. And it kind of led me down that path. So I think it's just kind of like not being afraid to follow interests when they come on later, just because you never know where they're
mm-hmm.
going to go. Ultimately, didn't end up pursuing music education just because it's not feasible, just with how funding is going for the arts, which is tragic. But it kept me in school, and I'll always be grateful for that. And I love music still to this day. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I can speak to that as well because growing up, even starting from kindergarten, I was in ballet. If you follow me on social media, sometimes I'll post different things of my past. And I did take ballet in kindergarten, but then around first grade, it was always like choir because I went to a Christian school from the first all the way to the eighth grade. And we also did musicals and stuff like that or plays. And then in high school, my first year I didn't do any extracurriculars because my mom wanted me to focus on my grades first. But then I did choir all throughout high school after that point. And we didn't have much of a drama program, which made me sad because I kind of wanted to dabble in that as well because I did still have the love of the arts that was carried over from middle school. And then when I went to college, I actually wound up majoring in music, participating in two choirs, concert choir and the Black Music Ensemble, which was a gospel choir, and doing one musical, which was Ragtime. And it was great. And then I continued taking voice lessons, and I had a junior and a senior recital. Um, and that's just a little bit about me and my life before I started podcasting about wrestling. But as you can see, I can, there was always the idea of me doing multiple things at once. I even took hip hop dance, and there was a point where I was also taking bass guitar as well. But when it comes to like formal training, do not ask me to read music. I can't do it. because math, like a lot of music is literally like math and science based, and if you don't have really the brain for that, then you will struggle. And I did take tutoring, but I did struggle with that a lot. And but I love performing, like I love being out in front and performing lines, singing the music, all of the things. But don't ask me to read anything.
See, I was the
Yes.
kid that
So
took AP
yeah.
music theory, so that stuff was my bread and butter. I got to do like African drumming with our dance troupe at the time, so yeah, they had me on the doon because I was the big boy, so I couldn't just have the djembe and everything, but it was fun, like kind
I
of
love a
applying a
djembe.
bunch of different stuff,
Oh, me
like
too.
taking that exam and all that stuff. Yeah, so oh.
So yeah, like music is always in my heart and it will stay there. There's a
Mhm.
part of me that still wants to sing but just doesn't know how to pursue it yet because of course everything popped off with wrestling, so there's that part. But of course, you can't put any one person into a box because all of our souls are different. You know, our lives and journeys take different forms over the course of our lives, and that's something that High School Musical does feed into a bit. But of course, when it comes to the general conflict of the film, not only coming from Troy and Gabriella's friend groups, with her being the smart girl and him being the basketball guy, you have these two, drama king, drama queen.
The queen bee is
Oh,
her minion.
Ryan and Sharpay Evans, or Sharpay and Ryan Evans, if you,
Mhm.
Mhm.
depending on who you are. You have these two who, of course, ran things in terms of the drama club because they had been the leads in all the school's productions ever since they were children. So
Mhm.
much so to the point that when Sharpay saw Gabriella talking to Troy, even breathing in his direction or breathing in the direction of the sign up list, she was threatened by it. She even signed her whole signature
A whole signature,
over
whole damn
all of
paper.
the lines on the whole damn paper.
Mhm.
Child. This upset me so bad. I was just like, excuse me, why would you do this?
Mhm.
Why would you feel so threatened by this new girl that you don't even know? Who's just looking at the list. She hasn't even signed up, but she's just looking at it and just looking at Troy. But Sharpay just kind of felt like because she was the it girl and in her mind the most talented, she was just supposed to get everything, pulled her way and also her brother's way, in a sense, because he was also very talented, but she was very, very self-centered.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think that is something over the years that has caused a lot of conflict within the HSM fandom because you have your fans who love Sharpay because of the fabulosity that she exudes with the pink and the
Mhm.
blonde hair, the outfits, the glam, and everything else. And then you also have Ryan, who is just very fabulously dressed as well, who's the dancer and also can sing very well too. But I feel like he wasn't nearly as vicious or nearly as vindictive as Sharpay.
Mm-mm.
No,
He
he was
wasn't.
just kind of there. He was an accessory.
Yeah, he was an accessory. He actually had
Yeah.
a moral compass about him that Sharpay really didn't have. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
you kind of see where that stemmed from in the second High School Musical when they're on their parents at the country club that they are part of, and the parents were kind of just like more so Team Sharpay, but they still acknowledge Ryan, but you can tell Sharpay was like their golden child because
Mm-hmm.
after when High School Musical 3 came out, Ryan was just like, okay, I want to kind of pursue other things besides just musicals and stuff. Although he did stay back to help direct or help Miss Darvis, it was really Sharpay's dream, and he kind of had to latch onto it because were they twins in the movie?
Yes,
Okay, because
Yes, canonically, yes.
we're twins, but
right.
I think we saw more of him in part two, which I
Hmm.
liked because he was like, no, I don't want I don't want to be ugly like that no more. I don't
Hmm.
want to be mean or anything like that. We're friends. You know, so
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of railroading that Sharpay was doing. And the thing that I hate that, as we've gotten older in the fandom is that people love Sharpay's songs and they love, the way that she does things with her, her cuteness and her lockers that are still pink to this day and her car and everything. But at the same time, when you really think about it, people like her really irritate me because my thing is if you're really that talented, you shouldn't have to move that way.
Right.
You really should not have to move in such a vicious manner to railroad someone else off of, the same tracks that you're on, because if you're really that girl, then you'll be that girl. But if you're not that girl that time, then you're just not the best at that point in time, and you just need to try harder. But Miss Ma'am, was so used to everything going her way that she would do whatever it took. And because she heard and saw Troy and Gabriella's chemistry, and then later on their talent as they sang together, she did whatever it took to railroad them off. And in the first movie, of course, Ryan was just sort of going along to get along. With his sister. But yes, we do see more of Ryan's character arc in the second and the third movies, which I did appreciate. So yeah, these two were on a hilarious journey. It wasn't hilarious, but it was also hilarious at the same time. Sharpay even went as far as to planting information about Gabriella's academic past into the office where Taylor McKessie was working as the Scholastic Decathlon team. That's how far she was going, and it was just really ridiculous. And I'm just like, girl, relax.
But insecurities with the spoiledness all together.
And if you're really secure, you don't have to act like that. But Sharpay was on one.
I also think that it comes from, again, her being this her being the center of everybody's attention. Like, she didn't want that. That's where like the pick me stuff comes. She needed the spotlight to be solely on her. So by the time when that third movie came, and you had the little Sharpay wannabe from London or England, wherever she was from, come over and try to be like her, it's just like, this is the thing that you're portraying right now. You understand? Like, you're portraying this, so now I'm gonna have to feed it back to you. And that was kind of like her karma. Even in the second one, she got her karma. She wanted she wanted to be the most popular girl in the school, tied to the most popular boy in the school, which was Troy, because he was on the basketball team. But then when when Troy and Gabriella kind of stepped out of their comfort zone, they got everybody else to step out of their comfort zone. That's how we met Zeke. That's how we met Casey and Kelsey and all of them or whatever. She didn't like that. Like, she didn't want the normal to be disrupted, because it'll take the focus off of her.
Yeah, she wanted to win the Star Dazzle Award, and she wanted to buy Troy's love. And I'm just like, you cannot buy Troy's love. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then Gabriella had to gag her one time and be like, look, what's the prize, Troy? You can have him. Like, and that gags me to this day. Like, at first, it was high drama when we were kids. But looking at that as an adult now, I'm like, yes, exactly. If you want him that bad, you can have him, because I don't care. I am Gabriella, bitch. But I'm sorry. Sometimes I have my moments. Like, exactly. Sorry, y'all. I have my moments, but I'm so, Chris. I think I just Chris is laughing. I'm sorry.
No, listen. It takes me some time.
It really does.
I just haven't heard this out of you in a really long time, so it kind of, it just surprised me a little bit. But listen,
yeah,
it's your platform. If it takes you,
yeah. Sometimes it does take me there. I'm not gonna lie, but I try my best to keep it cute. But sometimes, it just comes out. But in the midst of them auditioning, together, I do want to ask y'all a question. Which version of what I've been looking for do you guys like the best? Do you like the slow version with Troy and Gabriella, or the poppy version with Ryan and Sharpay?
Oh, the slow version.
The slow version.
Slow version, hands down.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the take on how they were trying to make it more pop, trying to make it more dance. But it's like, there's sometimes where it's just slow is so much better.
Yeah.
So much better. It's the same thing with Breaking Free.
Yeah. Because
also, it's crazy to say that, because I also love Bop to the Top, which is like very much like up tempo and doing the most. But like, sometimes stripping it back is the way to go.
But I do love their version of when they start singing Breaking Free.
Yeah, I did love this, because this was one of the clips of the movies that Disney Channel did keep playing on a loop. If you were at home during that time watching Disney Channel like continuously, they would show and play all these songs, and you would memorize the dances and everything. And they showed this version the absolute most. And it was super cute, and I loved the microphone. I feel like Sharpay is single-handedly responsible for my obsession with bedazzled microphones to this day.
I'm here for it because I do have one like that.
I don't, and I need one in my life.
It's from Amazon.
I just want the colored one. I don't even got to have like the texture or anything. Just like give me like a bright color.
And then of course you have the iconic version of the iconic moment where Ryan does a jazz square, and then Sharpay was like, "Why did you do that? We agreed not to." And he was just like, "Everybody loves a good jazz square."
And I love a good jazz square, so he was right on that one. Right.
Yes, and he was kicking butt at it. Like, he was an amazing dancer. So let's not do Ryan, okay? And then the thing that made me feel low-key sad in this scene was just the fact that they were low-key the best audition officially, because everybody else who auditioned were kind of on the struggle bus, sort of singing off key, not singing well, dancing off of the stage and falling into different set pieces. It was just hilarious. But these two gave their all, made it poppy. But then of course Troy and Gabriella added their little love
spin to it,
which that was the way it was supposed to have been written, because Kelsey wrote it that way. But of course Sharpay had to be all Sharpay and be like, oh well, let's do it this way, but whatever. So as we move forward with the rest of the story, we get to stick to the status quo. My boyfriend joked when we watched this together for the first time and said that this song was essentially a shut up and dribble song. And I wanted to die when he said that, because why would you say that? And I was just like, that's not the point of the song, because everyone had found out about Troy and Gabriella singing. Ryan and Sharpay were having a meltdown about it, and all the friend groups are having a meltdown, telling everybody, look, you can't be interested in all these things just because Troy and Gabriella decided they wanted to sing. You need to stick to this. Where we get the mathlete saying, oh, well, I'm intelligent and I love to dance, or the stoner, or like the skater boy who's just like, I play the cello,
Now you're blocking him like that because they couldn't do it back in the day.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, here again, we're adults now, so.
The fact that they called it a saw, and he's like, no, not a saw.
A saw? No, dude, it's like a giant violin.
Oh, the cello guy.
Yeah, the cello guy.
Guy, and he was like a stoner. But
they were skaters. We knew what they were.
So they had to be like a skater boy.
Yeah, it's like, tell us you're a stoner without telling us you're a stoner.
Exactly.
Right. Just let me just have droopy eyes and talk really slow. Because that's what I'm gonna have. To piggyback off of what you said, a memory had unlocked for me, Stephanie. So I remember I was on a college tour, and we were watching High School Musical, and it was the auditions part. So I was like, yo, we gotta watch High School Musical, like we gotta watch it, whatever. So we watching it, and my best friend was making fun of the guy reading the lyrics off of the paper, and he messed up the words. She was just like, when I say the funniest thing, like that part of High School Musical, like literally brought us closer together. We just kept cracking up, Then we kept doing the whole cartwheel theme from bed to bed, and it was just funny. It was a funny moment. So when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, that did happen in the movie. That did help unlock a memory for me. But sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I would say this is one of the best dance sequences in the whole film. Here again, going to Kenny Ortega and his choreography skills. It was so intricate because, of course, you think about all the dance breaks you've seen in every movie, in every musical. This is definitely one of them. You have all the colors of the cafeteria. You have everyone dancing around, proving their point, telling the story. And it's just so intricate. I love looking at it even to this day because everyone's just dancing around doing their own thing, being themselves while also conveying the notion of stepping out, but then not feeling free enough to step out, and everyone sort of stopping them from doing that. And you have Zeke, who loves to bake, and he made a creme brulee, and I think that was the first time I had ever heard of creme brulee back then. I had never heard of it, and I was just like, oh wow, well, what's that? And it's
his baking was the funniest part for me, because it's just like, you're a basketball playing baker. Love it. But do you guys remember when they would do those dance breakdowns during commercials after, like during the movie? And they knew how to do each choreography. I used to love that. And I feel like they need to get back to that.
Oh my God. The way that I actually, when I was rewatching this movie on Disney Plus, I was just like, why do I still remember get your head in the games choreography?
You gotta do the basketball.
I didn't have a basketball at all, but I was doing those dances like I did. And I was just like, bro, how do I still remember this at the age of 32?
It unlocked a memory. It's because we sat there and practiced and practiced and practiced. It's engraved in our brains.
Yeah, we're all this together had me earlier. I'm like, why do I still know this?
Literally still remember doing the dances. Actually, we have a comment. Jessica saying, I still remember doing the dance. Literally.
Yes.
Oh my God. The music videos, all of that, they engraved it into our little brains. We were just like, yeah.
And it was like each breakdown during the small commercial. So you were like, have to watch the full thing plus
because
all
Disney
the commercials.
Didn't have real commercials. It was all Disney stuff.
Yeah, it was incredible. But you could see the conflict in this scene. You can also see how Gabriella was trying to shrink because she didn't like people staring at her. She hated being the center of attention when it came to stuff like that. But then you have Sharpay, who was looking like she wanted to come attack her. But then Gabriella slips, and then she has food fall all over her outfit, and Sharpay screams. And she accuses everybody of trying to sabotage the show, which is not what was going on. But, drama queen's gonna drama queen. So then, of course, you have the conflict of all of the friend groups trying to pull Troy and Gabriella apart, which ripped my heart into pieces. And then Gabriella saying, when there was me and you around the hallways and everything, dressed up in that outfit, which was so 2006, because we were all like, I wanted that outfit so bad. And she was just singing and crying. And I was just like, she is really giving it to us. This is so sad. Why are you guys keeping them apart? They love each other. Stop. Oh, heartbreak.
It was the outfit for me, though. I loved it. The long dress looking with the jeans.
Yes.
So we were wearing dresses and jeans all at the same time, thinking we were looking good and cool.
I mean, but it doesn't really look that bad even now. But I'm not entirely sure if anybody would dress like that now. And then on top of that, Gabriella's shoes. I think I had a pair of shoes like that, except my heels were a little bit higher. But just looking at the shoes and the fashion of the time, you're just like, man, we thought we was really doing something.
You guys remember the slippers? The Chinese colorful slippers? Yeah, those.
Yes, at the Limited 2, at Claire's, all of that. Oh my God.
Limited 2.
That was my store, Jose.
Limited 2. Oh my gosh. They had this store. Oh, this is probably way before your time, child. Okay, hold on. Whew. They had this store called 100% Girls.
Oh, wow.
And I used to love that store. It was in New York. I don't know if it was anywhere else, but I know it was in New York. We had it in the mall, probably like 2000, like early 2000. It was called 100% Girls. It kind of mimicked Limited 2 because we also had a Limited 2 as well. And we had a Limited. Limited was the adult store. Limited 2 was the kids store. But you also had 100% Girls. When I tell you, if you go in that store, you'll probably find outfits. If it was still around, you'll probably find outfits that you can wear and resemble a High School Musical character. Mostly Gabriella's and Sharpay's for sure.
Oh my goodness, that actually sounds like my kind of store, Krista. I wish it were around.
I'm gonna Google it.
I'm gonna Google it later. Because that sounds fun. That really sounds like I would have had a time in that store, Krista.
You would definitely would have for sure.
Yeah, funny enough, Claire's is still around. We still have Claire's in our
Mhm.
mall.
Claire's is actually closing. A lot of stores is closing up here, and I'm just like,
Oh,
why? Like, why I closed? I think 2 stores already closed out here in Brooklyn. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, no, our
So
Claire's is
wow.
still
hopefully,
open. We still got Rainbow. Shoot, I'm trying to think
hmm
if the house
I
is
haven't
still
seen a
open.
rainbow in forever. I
We
love that
got
so
we're
Rooster
talking about
Valley.
Gabriella's outfit and everything right now. In the scene of the movie, she's doing her solo.
Oh my
Well, also, I
god.
think we forgot to kind of mention like the whole thing with Gabriella coming to the school is that she's the new student at the
Yep.
after the holidays too. So
She's the new girl.
not
Right.
only is
Middle
it
of
like
the school
she's like
year.
shy
Mhm.
and reserved, like she's literally a transplant and kind of grown
Right.
every which way. So
Right. Like it's crazy. It's so funny, Nessa. You're watching it as it's
I
happening.
am.
And then on top of that, on their YouTube channel, they've been doing a 24-hour stream of the movie all day today. And
Disney
I'm
Channel
just
has it just set. Disney Plus. It's like
oh,
celebrate 20 years and
oh my god, it's amazing. But yeah, her being a new girl and being thrust in there during the spring semester is nuts.
mhm.
And then, and then just the culture of her having to move so much because of her mom, and the nature of whatever her job was, because they really didn't say what Gabriella's mom's job was, but it had to be something really intense for her to have to move like that.
mhm.
So for her to be there and then try to keep a low profile only to be thrust into, being interested in this guy who's like the most popular guy in school, and then you want to sing while also being a mathlete too. The anxiety of it all was probably a lot for her, to be honest. So that's a lot of representation there as well. Not only just her being a woman of color, but being a woman of a certain temperament, you could say. Maybe introversion, maybe just a tad bit ambivert, pushing that out there. Of
Mhm.
course, back then we didn't have the language for that, but just seeing that portrayed, it's just like, wow. But then what breaks my heart even more is just the fact that their friends were so caught up in keeping them away and in their own bubbles that they could not see that they brought out the best in each other.
Yeah, I think that part too. That her being that transfer. That's why she was trying to keep everything so low key. And then here comes everybody just trying to turn her world upside down when she was just trying to sit there and be quiet. And you see that at the beginning of the movie where that's why she's reading the book. She's quiet, she's shy.
Hmm. So that was really nice. I see in the comments, just Jessica is
That's a
saying that she
necklace.
cleaned out her closet and my grandma found my Troy necklace. Look,
that is so
when
cute.
that's amazing. I actually wanted one of those, but then there was a part of me that always felt like when I get a boyfriend, I'm gonna have his initial.
I can't have a T and his name doesn't start with the T.
Oh
Right.
my god. Oh my god. Now that I think about it, I've never had an initial for a boyfriend. Oh.
I would say me neither, but I'm lying.
Yeah, I
Actually,
haven't.
I have one now. It's on a keychain that I have.
Mhm.
I have one, but that's
Yeah.
about to come off soon. So there's that.
Oh,
Oh. Okay. I haven't, like, I've never had an initial for a boyfriend. I've had boyfriends give me necklaces. I have my first boyfriend gave me a heart necklace that was silver and gold.
mhm.
And I had another necklace from my current boyfriend he gave me, which was a treble clef. Because he was in marching band and I was in choir, so that was something that we had bonded over to a degree. So yeah, but I've never had an initial. I'm still hoping for the ultimate initial, which will be the initial of mine and his last name, but that's another story for another day. Um
We're gonna
marriage.
manifest it.
Marriage. I want
Yeah,
it. Um
in the
so
universe.
yes. So, they were sad about being separated. And I feel like this movie also spoke to a lot of different subjects, but one of them was peer pressure. And wanting to, be friends with your friend group and not really branching out. And just also just dealing with the subject of being comfortable in your own skin and doing what you want to do even though it doesn't make sense to everybody else. That's something that a lot of people, even adults now, struggle with as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, this movie spoke to a lot of different subjects. And I also another subject that I want to discuss with y'all that this movie discussed is the conflict between sports and the arts. I
It's
feel like Yeah, I feel like something that is very understated in this film is that even at the very beginning, when you see Coach Bolton clashing with Miss Darvis, it's like you can clearly see which one has the principal's most interest in terms of the sports team, in the Wildcats basketball team, outside of her musical, which is sort of put on the back burner. Um, how have you guys ever dealt with that or ever seen any conflict when it comes to sports versus the arts in your lives?
mm,
I don't think
yes
so because I
and
think it
no. I feel
transitioned.
like we've heard, it is definitely a problem, and we see it to where I think in high school I felt it a little more because as someone that did sports and I was in choir, you have more funding for one than the other. And
Mm-hmm.
being from a small town, sports, and it's usually what happens with everyone like that. Sports is always the main focus. And it's sad because of kids that don't play sports and they want to do arts like drama, band, choir, things like that. They can't do much. So they have to do more fundraising. They have to do more things like that for them to be able to go and do things or get new equipment or, you know, outfits, things like that. So I like the way they touched on that, but it's kind of sad that it's still happening nowadays to where they would rather give funding to athletics, which is still important because again, that's also outlet for someone that doesn't do, you know, drama or anything like that for kids like that. But it should be equal because it's so important to have.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Jose, you want to add anything?
Honestly, I feel like for me, it didn't really affect because I had transitioned from sports into music without any conflict. So I didn't really see so much of that. I think it's just more so kind of depending on like what a lot of these schools are just prioritizing, like what they deem to be more important. I mean, thankfully I went to like an honor school, so like they took the arts just as seriously as they took like athletics and stuff. So I didn't feel like we were fighting for funding or just like people couldn't do both. Like there are ways to make it work, and the people that chose to do both were able to do both successfully. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. You, Krista?
For me, so I grew up in Brooklyn. It's in the city, so basically out here, sports is more so everything up compared to the arts. Like saying, and there were certain schools that focused on both. I went to a very new school. Like I was a part of the first graduating class of the school. So it's like we had to bring it ourselves. So yeah, we wanted to establish a basketball team, and we did, boys and girls basketball team. Excuse me. We established a step team. Tried to do a track team, didn't work out. Tried to do musicals. I believe we did like two ever. Like we had shows and assemblies and things like that, but it was very unorganized. But the thing about it is, we were also focused on the sports. We was also focused on basketball. That's what we all wanted to do. So it's like if you wanted to be a part, either you was there stepping. They later came up with a cheerleading team, or you were trying out to be the managers for the boys and girls basketball team, which I ended up being for both essentially. Don't know how we got there, but that's how that happened. Um, and usually our artistic abilities just like came in art class, like drawing and creating things on paper and posting it that way. Because we were just focused on taking AP classes or going on college tours and things like that. So we really didn't have that conflict between the two at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. All right.
Yeah. Well, I will say for me, there well, I'm from the South, the deep South, and Alabama. So I feel like that is almost pretty self explanatory when it comes to sports. We don't have like our major, like, we have a major sports team at the UFL, but that's relatively new. But when it comes to college football or college sports, that one is definitely like the most fed into. But then of course when I was in high school, we had our teams, but then you had the arts, and yeah, we had to raise money for certain things. And it was like the choir was sort of a little bit underneath, but then you also had the band, which was of course very important, which funnels into HBCUs and other schools as well with scholarships in that way. And we didn't have a drama club. And I believe after I graduated high school in 2011 was when they actually got rid of the choir, which was very heartbreaking to mentally put that together. But then they brought it back years later, around the time my sister went to that same high school. So there was always the notion of sports were up here and everything else is down here. Um, and it's just kind of annoying because to a degree the arts are very important, and it takes a lot of skill to do all of those things. It's not just something you just figure out with osmosis. It's something that takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice and a lot of work. And sports takes that amount of skill as well. But one shouldn't be prioritized over the other. If this is ultimately going to make children better and have them have better outlets, then you need to find ways to fund them all, in my opinion. And also let there be freedom to do both. And because when I was in high school, there were a lot of students who were cheerleading and in choir, even though it was frowned upon because you shouldn't be yelling and wearing your voice out while being in choir. But there was girls who were doing that, or you had people who were in band and in choir at the same time too, or in debate and choir and all the things. So the both and gene is really crazy down here. But either way, sports is sort of like king, but it really should be a way for all of it to coexist. But I am glad you guys shared your stories of dealing with that, because I noticed that in watching the movie this go round, how there was that little bit of conflict there.
I like
So
that you mentioned that too, because you were talking about how you can't cheerlead and do choir, and that's where she's trying to. You can't do the mathletes or what the mathlon, is that what it was?
yeah, the
The
scholastic
Scholastic
Yes,
Decathlon. Yeah.
decathlon.
she couldn't do the auditions because it was on the same day. And a lot of the time that happened where like for me, if I had a choir practice or something, but we had a game, I had to choose which one I needed to do. So those were struggles too. Sometimes it was just like it was never able to mesh correctly.
Yeah, that was something else I was talking to another friend from college about, how society sort of trains people to try to just do or just try to focus on one thing, when it should be more open. And that's something that we have discussed. But even in talking about the rescheduling of things, let's get into how Miss Darbus decided to be so weak-minded to let Sharpay manipulate her into moving those things on the same day, into moving the callbacks on the same day as the championship game and the Scholastic Decathlon. Another terrible scheme that was supposed to end with her and Ryan on top with the lead part. And that disappointed me, because I'm just like, are you not the teacher? Are you not the authority figure? Why are you listening to this student who is beneath you? When it comes to rescheduling this thing, like, stop. It's like, everybody's going to be split up into all these things. Why in the world are you doing that when you know that you have people auditioning who are on these other teams? That bothered me. It's like, I understand Sharpay's your girl and everything, and she's been your girl for a minute, but you're the teacher, she's a student. Stay in a child's place, like my mom would say. So somehow or another that didn't happen, and she wound up scheduling the callbacks at the same time as the Scholastic Decathlon, and the championship game. Upset me. How did it make you guys feel?
It was just Sharpay being Sharpay, getting what she wanted, trying to be the center of attention, knowing that she can manipulate the situation to work in her favor. Essentially, it failed. So it was just her being her manipulative self.
It was frustrating to watch because we're rooting for Troy and Gabriella. They're finally all working together, right? And then here comes Sharpay, and she just blows it all up, right? We're thinking it's over. So it was just one of those like moments. Like, why?
Yeah, Ashley Tisdale really played her mean girl role to a T, because the way I wanted to just reach into television and smack the hat off of her head when she did that, I was just so upset. Like, how could you do this? Shut up! And then it was also after everyone decided to work together and not pull Troy and Gabriella apart and everything. So it felt like everything was working out. And then Sharpay was like, "Oh, look at me, I did this." Girl, she thought she ate. No, ma'am, You're starving. You're starving. Goodbye. But of course, that big day came, and I love how as the day came, they had Scholastic Decathlon Day, Championship Game Day, Callback Day, help at the bottom. I'm just like, exactly. That's my new favorite word, help.
Well, yes.
Hello.
I love it. I'm at that part now that we're talking about it. It's all meshing well together now.
Yes, but the thing,
the iconic ma.
Oh my god, yeah, we do have to talk about that. Yeah, that I feel like that actually like made vocal warm-ups more accessible to people, because I do know, like, I had never seen vocal warm-ups up until I saw this movie, and so real. Yeah, it made it real. And so finally, after when I was able to participate in summer theater programs, we did those, and it didn't feel unfamiliar or dumb to me at all because I saw it in that movie.
Yeah.
So big ups to them for that.
Normalizing it.
Yes. And so the team and everybody, all the teams, work it out. And they don't even lead on to Sharpay or Ryan that they've figured out their scheme and found a way to work around it. So they cheer for the drama team, they cheer for the Scholastic Decathlon team, they cheer for the basketball team, throwing stuffed basketballs at each other, making all kinds of funny jokes with each other. And then Taylor, who I feel like deserves more credit in this series as a whole, someone who I just feel like should have had more time. Her and Chad both. She was the genius who created the formula that hacked into the system, which made all the bubbles happen, which made them run away, and everybody left the gym, left everywhere, left the Scholastic Decathlon to go to the auditorium for the auditions. And this was perfect. It was the perfect ploy to get to here. It was so perfect. This song still gets to me every time. And watching Breaking Free and listening to it this time, it kind of serves the same purpose as Start of Something New, where you have these two unfamiliar people coming together and starting something new with each other. But then in the beginning lyrics of Breaking Free, you have them saying, the world can see us in a way that's different than who we are. And I'm just like, and in my brain, I'm just like, wait a minute, why is this just clicking to me now 20 years later? The world can see them in a different light. And this is the way that it's happening with them singing the song. And I'm just like, what? It just blew my mind. Couldn't deal. This duet was perfect. It was cute. And even when Gabriella was nervous, she was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Troy was like, look at me. Just pretend it's just you and me like the first time we sang together. Let's pretend like it's kindergarten, like they did in the garden. And I was just like, this is setting unrealistic expectations for me for romance, but they literally sang together and ate with the moon and everything, and it was just so beautiful, and it was everything. Do you guys have anything you want to add?
Let me just say this: every time Breaking Free comes on, in my mind, my vocals, because I don't have any, definitely a Troy Bolton and a Gabrielle. Like, I am singing as if I am both of them.
Me too.
You have to.
Yes.
I will say I've definitely done Breaking Free at karaoke as an adult.
if you don't have a partner to sing with, you're doing both parts.
You're doing
like,
both parts. You have to.
Yeah, no,
You
they
have
really didn't do it alone, but like you forget how high up that first movie is compared to the other ones where Zac Efron's actually singing.
mhm,
Because
the range
Mr.
of
Drew
it.
Seeley, he got the range.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So
He does.
yeah, no, but it is a difficult song still to this day, but it is such a good song.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
a
was
showstopper.
just, it really is. Like the lyric, the songwriter, I forgot to write down his name in my notes, but oh my gosh, like the lyrics to this is just so beautiful.
Mhm.
And people even still quote the song to this day. I'll never forget being on Twitter when Vanessa Hudgens showed up on an episode of Raw. And Joshua Gresh, shout out to him, tweeted a picture of her, and I retweeted it and said, "Soaring, flying, there's not a bell in heaven that she can't ring."
Mhm.
And he was just like, "Stephanie, stop!" And
But
I
you were right
couldn't,
for that. You were right for that.
I couldn't help it because every time I see her, I think of this movie, and I'm just like, bro. I just can't help it. And this song really is the song. Well, it's kind of hard to say because every song on the soundtrack is a bop. It really is when you think about it. You have Breaking Free, you have Stick to the Status Quo, and then of course the song that we're about to talk about a little bit later, We're All in This Together. There are just so many songs that are the most memorable, but Breaking Free is the one that charted the highest. It's the one that people remember the most. Troy looked so fine in this scene with
With his
um
tracksuit on.
I know, and him moonwalking while singing. I was just like, oh my god. It's so amazing. Oh, it was just an
But
amazing.
I feel
Yeah.
like the song, yeah, when we talk about all in this together, that they're all together, of course, now they're unity. But I feel like this shows how they got to that part because everyone's in the auditorium watching them and finally realizing this is okay. And then here comes, dad, Coach Bolton and Vanessa's mom, Gabriella's mom coming in, and they're just like, wow, like we see
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, seeing their children in a new light. Like that's
Yeah.
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 And it's
It's
funny too,
very
like when you go back to the fun facts of it all, Bart Johnson, that's his last name.
Yeah.
yes.
He was actually in theater or whatever. So I really wish like the movie could have played more of his real life into that as well. Like I was telling Troy, like, listen, I was in your shoes once upon a time too, but I had to make the choice of, between theater arts and basketball, and I chose basketball. But whatever it is that you want to choose, or even try to be that, I guess, the heel father. Like, listen, I was in this place too, and it's easier for you to do basketball than to do singing. So we're gonna just focus on basketball. And then like it would have been more of a grand finale moment, like Troy proving his dad wrong. Although, like, because he was the coach, like, of course, that he essentially did that, but it just would have been more fun to see it displayed out on TV if they really played into like his real life and being in the arts world and then
Yeah.
sports.
I feel like that'd have been a good twist to it. Like not
Mhm.
realizing that he understands where he's coming from, but he
Right,
wanted to stick to the status quo.
right, right.
Yeah, Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's just like even within the movie when Troy's basketball team were trying to get him to refocus on the game itself and trying to pull him away from Gabriella, they used the fact that his father played basketball on that very same team and won a championship, which was the same thing that they were pursuing, right? So a
Mhm.
part of you low key wonders like what type of conflicts did Coach Bolton have? Is it too late to figure that out? Would there be an audience for that? Because of course High School Musicals had like 3 movies, all the spin-offs and all the stuff that we mentioned earlier. Is there a space for a prequel?
No,
You never know.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Maybe back then, maybe,
yeah.
but now I don't know. I
Okay, I'm
think
sorry.
maybe we all got PTSD.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, everyone
No.
said no.
Okay.
No prequel. Like
I feel like if they would have did that movie to show, maybe, but I don't think.
The time has come and gone.
Yeah, I don't think it would do as much either. Like if they do decide to do something like that, it would just be like this newer generation don't know high
Yeah.
school like that, so they're just be like, "What is this?"
yeah,
I
things
mean,
are just
yeah.
Stephanie. I get where you're trying to go with this. Like you don't want it to like let it rest or let it like be great at this moment, but baby, you gotta let it go. Be like Elsa, let it go. Okay, enjoy what we have.
I know.
Don't. And you know what's crazy? This movie, the franchise, I can say like this is one of the few franchises where each movie was good. Like if I had to rank my favorites, it would be 3 top, then 1, then 2, but they were all good. Like, so you don't want to sit and go to a prequel. No, who be prequeling? Like, what are we
No.
prequeling?
I
Like,
mean, everybody else be
I'm
doing
not gonna
stuff.
lie.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
and it
just
don't
because
be
you can
good.
doesn't mean you should.
And
That's
it don't
true.
be good.
I thought
That's
the
true.
series was gonna be like that because the way they teased it, it was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be when they're older, they're kids, you know, things like that. So I was a little bit disappointed when it wasn't like that, but
Me too.
yeah, I was like, that would have made more sense for us to see them grown up and you know, kind of like how they did in One Tree Hill, out of high school and
But then it also kind of we never
yeah.
get into a One Tree Hill right now, please. I usually binge watch it every year,
I
but
love
now
it.
last year I'm still like kind of stuck on season 7 ish because it's just not good anymore. It's just
Oh
not.
man.
But
Well,
that's another day.
yeah, that's another show.
Yeah.
But
That's a whole different.
but yeah, that's a whole nother show. But you know, it's just, and the thing that I find the most poignant, going back to Troy Bolton's dad, I feel like not enough was made about Troy Bolton's mother, but you know, we'll just move on with that. The thing that I love the most that Kenny Ortega mentioned in his interview with Bart um, was him saying that the central conflict was something that he could relate to with his father, because he said his father was also an Olympic athlete himself. And there was a point where even Kenny had to choose between being an athlete and also being an artist himself. So that central conflict where you have that um, come to Jesus moment with Troy and his dad, where his dad says, you know, you're the ball. It was like you're the captain, not a singer. But then Troy says, have you ever thought that maybe I could be both? And Coach Bolton couldn't even answer that question until he was finally able to see him in his element singing in the audition. And he saw how he was with Gabriella, and he was able to accept Gabriella in Troy's life too. Because in that scene before they had that argument, he was looking at Gabriella like a distraction, kind of like everybody else was on the team. But once they opened their minds and opened their hearts, they were finally able to see that there is room for all of, you know, his intricacies. And I love that they brought that up in the movie, because yeah, you can do it all. You can be both. You can be both and not just and or
Right.
just or whatever. You can do it all. So
But
as
you
we
know what
move,
else? Sorry,
yeah.
real quick. When you
No,
talk
go
about like
ahead.
the father son dynamic, what else? Another thing we should have touched on is the fact that Chad's father, Corbin Blue's dad, is his dad in real life.
Yeah.
So we could have had that dynamic too, because he's also been an actor. He's also been on Broadway. He's also a musical person. So we could have definitely had that as well. We should have had more of a Chad and his father dynamic in this, while Chad's also trying to figure out. Chad's trying to figure out what his status quo is, because he's the only one. If you look at the movie, everybody else has these other type talents.
And
He's
he's
the
the
only
only
one that had basketball. He didn't
Mhm.
have everything. He didn't have what Zeke had with baking. He didn't have what Troy had with the singing. He didn't have what Casey had with the dancing. Although, of course, as an ensemble, you have those things. But he was the only person with basketball. And maybe if they would have kind of leaned into maybe I want to try to pursue something else as well, but I just don't know what. And had his dad be like, listen, I suffered through this in high school as well, have a more of a relatable moment. It would have, I feel like it would have skyrocketed a little bit or would have resonated with a lot of people as well, especially in those times where you don't really see a black father and son on TV. Like they would have jump in as well. Like you didn't really see that, especially on Disney. You didn't really see a black father and son or a household where the household is a black household and they're married and you have like a successful child or whatever. So I feel like they could have played more to the dynamic as well.
Yeah, and that would have been major in a movie like that, which was such a huge hit. But then, and I will say this though, Corbin Blue and his dad did have more of a moment in Jump In, which of course was a different decom completely. But of course, if that was more explored, if Chad's story was more explored in HSM, then that would have been really cool, because the only thing you hear of Chad's parents is how his mom had a picture of that one guy who was the Phantom from the Phantom of the Opera in her refrigerator. And had it as a dieting idea, and he mentioned that sort of like offhandedly as a joke to Troy, but you really didn't see that much. And then of course they had the conflict in the second film, where Troy was getting too big for his britches, and then in the third film you saw them, playing together until they both, decided to go their separate ways to their different colleges. And then Chad was like, so does your team play my team in basketball? And they were like, yeah. And they had that little heartfelt moment, which rips my heart to shreds, because in the third film it's just like, wait a minute, we've seen these two be best friends and now they're going to go to different colleges and play basketball against each other. Stop. But but yeah, Chad's story could have been explored a little bit more, Chris. I do feel that a whole lot more. I feel that the older I get, but I do appreciate Chad's layers that we did get to see emotionally. Even though it was in small pockets, we did see portions of it throughout all three films, and I do appreciate Corbin Blue and his luscious locks and his acting range. And then I loved him and Taylor getting together, because of course Taylor was just like, bro, you're just a lunkhead because you're a jock. But here again, it takes skills. It takes skills to know how to play sports. And I feel like she underestimated that, just like they were underestimating everyone else, and they learned from each other, which leads us to, we're all in this together. Oh my God. Another dance I memorized.
Yeah.
Cats everywhere. Wave your hands up in the air.
That's the way we do it. Let's get to it. Time to Don't get me started.
This was that everyone was favorite part was this part.
Wait, which part? Oh yeah, the pump. Oh yes.
The pump.
And the arms, yes. Oh my God, yes. And then of course in this scene you see Sharpay seemingly make up with Gabriella, but of course we know that didn't last long. Oh my gosh, maybe I should do an episode about the second film. I don't know. Anyway, stay tuned. But either way, she tells Gabriella to break a leg, because of course it's assumed that Twinkletown has new leads in Troy and Gabriella, because duh.
The callbacks, the auditions went so good.
Exactly.
It only made sense.
It only made sense, even though we will give Bop to the Top their 10s, because that scene, that dress, the ladder, it was cute. Mucho gusta. Mucho gusto. Ay que fabulosa. That was amazing. I loved it. Yes, that was amazing. But Breaking Free won out. They were the lead, and then Kelsey took her hat off for the first time, and we saw that fabulous hair she had. And then we moved into the pep rally where everybody's, celebrating the championship win. They won the championship. Gabriella won the Scholastic Decathlon. They almost kissed, but didn't kiss until the second film. I'm a romantic, guys. You see where my priorities are.
Yep.
I was so sad for that too. I was like, let them kiss. And here comes the movie, like, finally.
like here's the game ball. Like they were blocking like crazy, but didn't really know they were blocking, but it was funny. But this whole dance sequence here again is just so beautiful. We all memorized it. We all broke the dances down. We were doing it at school with our friends, out in the street, in front of our parents.
Hmm. They
All
were
the
tired of
things.
All the things and more.
Yes, and it's a very beautiful sentiment. We are all in this together, if we really just reach and fly and just, get to know each other's differences and not count each other out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of there it's a message there. It's not just a catchy song, it's a lesson there that if you just open your mind to the differences of other people and just really embrace that, then a lot more can get done than when you try to stay separate from other people who aren't like you.
Yeah.
it. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on with the gems, Stephanie
Mm-hmm.
Hardy. Okay. I'm gonna drop a
A
gem.
word.
A word.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. So I have my moments. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the film. So I want you guys to share what you guys have learned and taken from this movie, even as adults, or what you learned from it even as kids.
Um, what I've learned is honestly that you have to, in order to fit in, you have to stand out.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to
Yes.
not be afraid. Come on, you have
Mhm.
to not be afraid of doing the uncomfortable thing. Like you really have to trust your gut and trust your heart. And whoever's not with you, you can leave them, and it's gonna be okay. Like you're going to be okay. Like go where you need to go. Follow your heart's desires. If it's for your first love, follow it. If it's for, and that could be a girl, that can be a passion, that can be because you still had the end of the movie after the credits roll. Sharpay came back to Zeke, like, hey,
Thank
these are
you for mentioning that. Thank you, because I
Mhm.
was out. She's like, these are the best cookies I ever made.
Mhm.
ever had, and then they kind of like fell to the floor and
Yeah.
like whatever. But it's
Filling
like,
the balloons, right?
Mhm.
yeah, like you have to continue because Chase's main thing was getting Sharpay's attention through his cooking, through his baking.
Hmm.
That's exactly what happened. Now, I would have also have loved to seen that translate more in the second movie as well.
Yeah, and they didn't do that.
Sharpay going back to try to get Troy, it should have been Zeke. Like Zeke should have had that moment with Sharpay. Um, but you always to fit in, you have to stand out and follow your dreams, cancel out all of the noise, the white noise around you, because it can definitely distort your own vision, and you're the only one that's going to be regretful in the end. So that's
Mhm.
the lesson I take from High School Musical.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jose?
I think for me, like as a kid, it was mainly just you never know where something can go, so don't be afraid to try something new. So I think having like an open eye to be a little bit more ambitious definitely played through. And I think as an adult, just kind of seeing like, hey, it's okay to be a multi hyphenate. Like you can be the athlete and the star of the show, and you can be all these different things. Like don't put yourself into one box when you know that you're made for more. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that because uh, at that time, like I said, trying to pick one or the other was always the thing. And I was always that kid that I liked being in the drama, in the drama classes. I was in choir, but I also played sports. So it was kind of like which one to choose, which one is this okay, is this not okay? But I like what Krista said. Pretty much, you got to be you. If you're not going to be true to yourself at any age, you're never going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's
So
true.
in order to be happy, you got to do what you love and hopefully find people that love the same things as you do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That is real. That is absolutely real. I think as a kid, when I saw the movie, it was a lot of accepting that it's okay if I like to just sing like a loud person and just start randomly singing at times, or whatever and just accept that part of myself. And now I have the older I get, the more I'm just like, okay, it just happens, even in and out of me, just even speaking, it just happens.
Yeah.
And also just being just not afraid to speak up for yourself is another lesson I took from it. And as an adult, I think the lesson that I've learned is that you can just always just be the truest form of yourself, and if nobody else likes it, then they don't have to understand, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to impress everybody. Everybody's not for you, and you're not for them. So
Exactly. So we've reached the end of our time together. And I am so happy that we were able to get together on my platform and talk about this amazing movie and celebrate all of the trends and all of the lessons we've taken from it and going back in time. I hope this episode took everyone back in time as you guys were watching it. And of course, you guys can listen to it and watch it later on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. But of course, thank all of you, Nessa, Krista, and Jose, for being on the show. And tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what y'all got going on.
who's gonna go first?
Go ahead, Kristen.
Okay. Sorry if you hear the noise. Like my neighbors decide they want to do construction at this time every day, so I don't know what's happening. So if you hear that noise, I'm sorry. But you can follow me, Miss Krista B, MS underscore KRISTAB underscore on Instagram, MS underscore KRISTAB on Twitter. You can follow those wrestling girls everywhere. Those wrestling girls will be back for its newest season and year. I believe this would be year 8 for us. So make sure you please follow us. It'll be year 8 for us, I believe so. So yes, please make sure you follow those wrestling girls. You can also follow me on my business platform, Unapologetically Eclectic. I have 2 interviews that are coming out very, very soon, and I'm very excited about it. So please make sure you subscribe if you want to see the interviews. Those are paid subscriptions, not too much. But I will definitely be putting out more content over there. So it's Unapologetically Eclectic, Miss underscore Krista B, and those wrestling girls. You can follow me on all of those platforms.
You can follow me on all platforms at La Madrina underscore XOXO. You can see me every Monday on Tribal Warzone with Sports for You Wrestling, as well as every Wednesdays on the Humble Roses and Sports for You Wrestling. I do double duty on Wednesday. But you can subscribe to them as well on YouTube at the Humble Roses podcast and at Sports for You Wrestling podcast. We're also going to be we have our regular shows tomorrow. Humble Roses will be at 7:30 Eastern, and then Sports for You Wrestling right after at 10 Eastern time. And then we will also be doing a watch along this Saturday for Saturday night's main event. So hopefully you guys see there. And I had fun.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah. And then for me, tomorrow night after AEW Dynamite, you can find me at bodyslam.net over for Dynamiked Up with JPJ Loves Gaming. This Saturday at our local establishment, myself and Auntie Collins are back together for the Mother Tuck and Post show, where we are doing a first 4-episode review for RuPaul's Drag Race for season 18. So getting you guys caught up on everything going on there. On my own channel, you could go back from this past weekend for Jose Live. It was myself, Auntie Collins, and Lyric Swinton talking about heated rivalry. And Auntie Collins and I booked a 30 Drag Queen Royal Rumble, complete with.
Oh,
it was a.
Can I know Can I know if one of my favorite drag queens is in this 30?
Yes.
Is Shangela in it?
Shangela's number 4.
Okay.
All I'm gonna say is you might not be happy with how she performs in the Rumble for.
It's okay as long as she in it. That's my girl. I love Shangela. I feel like she's probably one of the only ones I really know because I kind of fell off of RuPaul's Drag Race. But that's my girl. As long as I hear some Shangela going on, I'm okay.
Yeah. Hey, if you like it, I highly love it for you. So, hey. But yes, and also Jose in the Air everywhere, or Jose Can You Read on TikTok as well if you're into the book talk stuff. I do post up there as well. But yes,
I'm gonna follow because I have some books that have been mailed to me because I'm doing book reviews on Unapologetically Eclectic, and there's this one book that I have to finish because it starts so very, very crazy. And as you continue to read, it continues to get crazy.
Yep, I've
So
had
yes.
that book happen to me like literally
Okay.
a couple months ago, and it's ruined other books for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, we're going, yeah, because he's like, now if you can't start off this way, I don't want to read it.
Exactly.
Right. But okay, well, I'll follow you on TikTok, so we can discuss books.
Excellent.
Yes, all of you have such amazing things going on that if I had a bunch of brains and a bunch of eyes, I would watch them all. And I'm so happy and proud of you guys.
Same with you, Miss Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh Lord. Oh,
I know.
so okay.
I need to get back into
We were talking
watching.
about Kenny Ortega's resume being long.
I need to get back. Right. Talk about
Miss Hardy.
Miss Hardy has her own resume.
Come on.
No, she don't got a resume. She got the Star Wars intro where it's just the text keeps going and going and going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very
Like, I'm
good.
really trying to follow in her footsteps. Ring announcer.
Crystal,
Wow,
stop it.
commentator. Like, no, I'm gonna give you your flowers, boo boo,
Oh,
because
Lord.
you've been doing this a really, really long time, and the fact that you can literally switch it up and still be true to who you are under the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, like, come on, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. Oh,
Please.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I wasn't expecting it. Thank you. I just do my best out here and I just try.
No, you're not trying, you're doing.
Okay.
Take that try out of your vocabulary. You're not trying, you're doing.
I'm doing.
You're succeeding. You're accomplishing. You're manifesting. You're doing everything that you said that you were going to do, and doing it, progressing at it, and being noticed for it. And you're gonna get your flowers while you can still smell them. You know, I give them to you every time.
Thank you.
Every time.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy you guys were able to come on the show. And hopefully I'll do more shows about other things outside of wrestling. But of course, y'all know you can follow me at Queen Stephanie. Well, not Stephanie, but at Queen Steph Hardy on Instagram and Twitter. And follow the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram, at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. And subscribe to the YouTube channel and just be on the lookout for any announcements about whatever other episodes or shows that we might have going on within the week, because it might be more, but either way, just stay on the lookout for that. So of course, this has been HWP Extra with your girl Stephanie Hardy, Nessa, Krista B, and Jose. And until next time, bye y'all.